Over the last 3 years, the London Borough of Tower Hamlets has been running a pilot parenting project.
The first thing parents assume when you ask them if they'd like to go on a parenting course is there some kind of hidden criticism.
One person challenged me, how many do you have? I said, 3. 3? Not enough. I have 9.
Those running the project believe they are improving more than just how parents are raising their children.
I see this programme as part of a larger overview on community development.
The aim of our programme is to encourage parents to take some responsibility, to empower them.
We are responsible. I think in this society, the parents want to say, oh, I am not responsible for this. No, you are the first responsible.
We reveal how the borough's schools have played a central role in the initiative.
Schools are like the heart of contact with parents in the community.
And we see what effect the project is having in one of Britain's most diverse boroughs.
With my son at the moment, none of that is working. It can't keep carrying on like this. I'm hoping that this is gonna change my life. I really hope it is.
The Isle of Dogs lies in a loop in the River Thames on the southernmost edge of the borough. It is known locally as the Island.
At the second of these books you've got Mr. Fox.
Single mum Jackie Jenkins has lived on the island for 13 years.
The East End's changed quite considerably over the years. I've lived here all my life, and different cultures are moving in and moving out. I mean, people that I grew up with have moved out to Essex and places like that, and it's a never-changing area. Ready? You got everything? Okay, let's go. The sun's out today, it's really nice.
Jackie has worked at Cubitt Town Junior and Infant School for 3 years as their parent liaison coordinator.
Morning! How are you? Cold day.
Today is no ordinary day. Hoping to improve the opportunities of parents at the school, Jackie has just started running a 13-week parenting course.
I started up the Strengthening Families course because I thought it'd help a lot of parents and help our school and the community, so I thought it would be a fantastic opportunity to be able to train to be a facilitator. Do you want help to go and get it? Yeah, you can leave. It's not a mess, it's work in progress. I can start doing that. Annetta and I went in June to some training. It's quite an intense course from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon, and she goes through the different sessions and gives us ideas in how to present it, and literally goes through the whole programme. The ultimate goal is by the time you've done one that you can go ahead and do it on your own.
Tom Morris runs the Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities initiative on behalf of the council.
I think one of the faults of approaching parenting programmes generally in the past has been seeing it just as that, a parenting programme, showing parents how to bring their children up. It doesn't work like that, particularly in a borough like this when there are so many other additional factors influencing families. I see this programme as part of a larger overview on community development.
Today, he is helping Jackie and Annetta lead their first course.
This is the 5th week, I think, that we've been doing a group here. We've got a very diverse range of parents attending this group, very different backgrounds, socially, culturally, ethnically.
If the initiative is to prove a success in the borough, as Tom hopes it will, the course must help parents deal with some of the everyday challenges they face. Tracy has lived on the island all her life. She is attending the parenting class to learn how to be more of a positive influence on her 9-year-old daughter who is struggling in school.
Ellie gets really frustrated when she can't do things, but she won't put her hand up and say to the teacher, like, can you help me? Ellie just sit there. I mean, we had an incident the other day where Ellie was crying, she didn't want to go to school. Ellie's crying her eyes out saying, I can't do the work.
At the beginning when I first took her, she had no self-esteem at all. She wouldn't put her hand up for answering questions or anything. Even if you asked her directly, she would look at you blankly, completely.
When Tracy talks about Ellie, It's mainly what she can't do. Ellie does need a positive role model. The course is going to change her in a way that she's going to become more positive, Tracy, and then that have a knock-on effect with Ellie. So if she sees mum happy and confident, then she's going to be a good role model for Ellie.
Oh, hi, it's Tom for Strengthening Families. Okay,
When you shout at somebody, it automatically lowers your self-esteem because you feel really bad, don't you, that somebody's shouting at you. And this is what this course is all about, that when somebody shouts at you or somebody raises their voice, as a person, how do you feel? So especially a child as well. Morning, Tom. Morning. That they do, you know,
I'll do it. If someone shouts at me, I'll...
Yeah, see it, yeah.
The first week that I done, I didn't think I was going to go back the following week.
When she first came to the group, she was a little sceptical as to what value it might hold.
I found it really boring.
In fact, she said it was boring, let's be frank. Which is fine, that's fine. But as the time has worn on, she seems to have really taken to it. She's much more willing to air her views.
Ellie's been an absolute nightmare for 4 days. Bored. I want to go out, I want to go out. And like, I think by sort of like Saturday, it was like, just go then. And she was out 10 minutes, come back, she went, no one's out. I went, Elle, why don't you just take my word for it? Why can't you just listen to me for once?
Because it's that learning curve, isn't it? She had to go out and find out for herself why you kept on saying, no, you can't go out.
Yeah, but then it'll happen again.
Then she'll learn again.
It might take 20 times for her to realise that. But I mean, all right, you don't want her to go out and things like that, but you've got to give them some freedom.
The child asks something and the parents always say, no, not this, that, no, not this, that. So when the parent has to, you know, say that you can't do this, it's more of a retort that whatever you say, I'm going to do the opposite of that.
And also, yeah, I think we were talking about alternatives, that it's all very well to say, no, you can't do that, but in that case, what can you do?
Exactly.
So actually turn it into something positive.
I feel like she gets her own back on me later when I say, no, you can't do something.
Well, what does she do? Say you can't do something?
No, because it gets to sort of like, later on, she'll come up and she'll sort of like lay on the bottom of the bed and you're watching something. She knows you want to watch it and it's like, all the way through it, it's like, who's that? And what did that one do? And I'm thinking, it's like payback time.
But then she's taken an interest, isn't she? She's asking.
Yeah, but I don't want her when I've got something to watch. Go away, that's me time. With my kids, I love them, but I feel like I don't cuddle them enough. I think this all stems back from my childhood, because I had a parent that didn't cuddle me, and you probably don't even want to know this. You know what I mean? There was only my mum in my life, so she worked, and I didn't get cuddles, and she never was at a parents' evening with me. And I've done all these things for my kids. I'm there when they come home from school. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to be there. I want to do with my kids what I didn't get, but I don't know whether my kids know anything else other than me shouting at them. And that's sad, because I feel that's all I do. But I'm hoping that this is gonna change my life. I really hope it is.
With each course Tom is able to set up in a school or community organisation, he hopes to provide an inclusive service for all parents across the borough.
I think in Tower Hamlets, my personal philosophy is to ensure that families are getting the maximum that they possibly can out of the services that we provide.
Tom heads the Parenting Early Intervention team. Together they run the New Parenting programme. They work with other agencies to ensure parents across the borough can access their service.
Some parents need urgent, instantaneous intervention of some kind, and you can't afford to say there's a course starting after Christmas. Someone needs to be onto it straight away. That's what I need to do.
Ian Findlay is the Tower Hamlets parenting advisor. He is a key member of Tom's intervention team.
At the bottom level of a pyramid of need, there is what we call the universal level. That would require any parent who wanted to find out more about how to be an effective parent to attend a course. At the other end of the pyramid of need is those families who are quite disruptive, chaotic. Their children might be involved in antisocial behaviour or involved with the police in some way or another. The parents themselves may be involved in antisocial behaviour, or one of the parents might be in prison, and the children are suffering as a consequence.
Working with other agencies, however, is not always easy.
For a long time we were reluctant to send any referral back on the grounds that you'd never see it again. That's what happened to me. The referral details weren't adequate, you'd send it back and they'd never send it back to you, and you just gave yourself another problem.
I'm being told that a parent has been referred by a social worker. You ring them up, haven't got a clue. It might have been suggested to them. And then we've got the job of cold calling and trying to sell it. You're on a hiding to nothing.
Facing problems of accessing some parents, the intervention team take a decision to go as direct to parents as they possibly can.
Tower Hamlets was unique in the way that it approached its Pathfinders work, because it decided to implement the parenting programmes through schools. None of the other Pathfinder areas did this.
Talking to people across the country, they're always very surprised at how proactive schools have been in Tower Hamlets. They've been fantastic.
Marna Primary School was one of the first schools to train staff to run the course. Working with the Bromley by Bow Children's Centre, Marna has enabled 135 parents to do the course, about a quarter of the parents at the school.
We're delighted with the outcomes so far. The parents themselves have expressed how positive they feel about the relationships they've made between each other. I remember last year one father saying that he'd been coming to the school for quite a while, had never spoken to anyone in the playground, and now knows that he has friends. That's a really important thing.
40-year-old Carly is attending Marna's current course.
In my family, there's my second daughter is always the person who cares for me. The rest, I care for them. Wow. Okay. So whenever she feels down, I want to try to make her happy, and the best thing that she likes is go out for a walk.
What did you do?
Yeah. Carly moved to London from Somalia in 2002. He has 3 daughters and currently cares for 2 nephews who were both born in Somalia.
The problem that the 2 boys have, they came here as 10-year-old or 9-year-old. They started year 5 when they have never had an education at all, let alone English. It took us 2 years for them to be in a confident way.
Carly's circumstances made him an ideal candidate to attend the course at Marna, but he was initially reluctant to join their latest group.
I was really cautious about it, and then I humbly accepted their invitation to join the course. Somalis tend to be isolative, not to be in the community. I'm the only Somali there, the rest are Bengali. We normally tend not to mix. To be able to be together with them is a good thing.
Our parents are feeding back to us that through that course they're developing very strong relationships with each other and with staff within the school, and that can only lead to improvements.
The Canary Wharf development has brought a business centre to Tower Hamlets, but some areas of the borough remain among the poorest in the country. Many families and communities face serious challenges in their lives. The borough's growing Somali community is one of them. Abdi Hassan runs the Ocean Somali Community Association, or OSCA, a grassroots organisation based in Mile End.
Families who come here, especially with the Somali community, parents don't have the skills and lacking the skills to look after the children and bring them up in this country.
High knees, pick up your knees.
If they weren't here playing football, they'd be out somewhere else.
Fighting, robberies, stuff like that. We're not arrested, but taken home by the police.
We had a few problems with the young ones in the past, which was gang fighting. Some of them were actually involved in drugs and stuff like that.
OSCA is the only organisation to have run the council-funded parenting classes in Somali.
What are these? Yes. And what are they for? Listening. Can we get listening to that? Yeah.
Most parents would have a culture problem. So the main thing and the first thing that they probably would have is not speaking the same language as their kids. The parents have no English at all. And then obviously the culture in the UK. So that young people understand the culture, parents are not understanding the culture. So when the parents and the kids are trying to have a conversation, and it's like they're from two different worlds.
Parents actually want what's best for their kids, and it's lack of understanding, basically.
Oh, you went Pam? Why?
That day, Eid day, remember?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did say I was going to come back to you, didn't I? Okay. I hope it's not too late then. Yeah?
You always fight back.
No.
Abdi needs more funding to continue running the parenting classes.
Yeah. We have had a number of strengthening family programs over the years, so they've been very well attended, and lots of parents are wanting to come. We're hoping to get that funding, and as soon as that starts, that will be actually a good achievement for us as an organisation.
Cultural differences between the generations is a common issue for ethnic communities in the borough.
This area is mainly Bengali community. I think that the Asian parents, some of them with them young boys, they don't even know what they're doing. Yeah. They're just stuck in their culture. But the young boys are westernised. So when the boys come out, the parents, the mums, the old mums indoors, they're clueless, they don't know what's going on.
Humayun Kabir has worked in Tower Hamlets for 20 years. He is a key member of the team running the trial parenting project, bringing the course to the Bengali community, the largest ethnic minority in the borough.
The young boys are too modern. Look, catch these girls, they've got their hoods on, but they're swearing and all that. They're just wearing that. That's just the mask, isn't it? Shouting. The hijab's nothing. That's just because they're culture. But the young girls, they want to be like the Muslim girls. They want to wear small tops. They want to be westernised. They don't want to be culturised.
There is a percentage of parents that don't have really clue what their children are up to. That's true. And the aim of our program is to encourage parents to take some responsibility, to empower them. Assalamu alaikum. আশা করি আপনারা সব ভালো আছেন। আপনারা আজকে আমরা 8th session welcome. This program came to UK in 1999. It was introduced by Race Equality Foundation, and when we looked at that, we felt that it gives some answers, it gives some practical help to parents. That is really helping them. It's helping to resolve the issues.
Mother of two, Afia, is attending Humayun's current course in Mile-End.
Tara self-discipline, for example, tara jemon kichu lagi bala ofta tukaiya bar kora.
তখন আপনি একজন মা হিসাবে বা বাপ হিসাবে চিন্তা করতা যে তার যে এনার্জিটা আমি খামো লাগাইতাম পজিটিভলি কিনা।
I came to the course because I have issues with my teenage son. There was a time when he suddenly decided that he hated us. He sort of still does. He hates us. He stopped going to school. He calls me a bitch.
Concerned about Afia's lack of progress with her son, Humayun decides to arrange a meeting with her and her husband Kamal.
Assalamu alaikum. এখন আপনার মতে বা ফোকাসেন কিলা মাথা নিয়ে যায় তারে কিতা করলে তার মাইন্ড আমরা হামাইতাম পারবো আপনি হামাইতে পারবা কিতা বালা পায় কিতা করলে আপনার কথা অনেক ঠিক কোন বয়ে খেলাধুলার ব্যাপারে চিন্তা করছেন
ফুটবল হে বালা পায় হে স্কাই ফুটবল দেখে তাই তো দেখুন তার লোকে সামটাইমস আর থিম পার্ক হলছে তার কার্ড বানানি হইছে বছর বাক্কা হয়ে জায়গা লইয়া গেছন আর তারা একলাও যাইতো চায় না বুঝছেন তারার লগর খে হইলে তারা আরো ইন্টারেস্টেড
একটা না একটা আমরা ট্রাই করি একটা কোনটা ক্লিক করব আপনি হয়তো জানলাম না ক্লিক না করা পর্যন্ত সো এডা আমরা চাইরা আমাকে যে আপনি তার লগে অ্যাক্টিভিটিস করতে যেটা বালা পায় যেটা আপনি ম্যানেজ করতে পারবা পারা লইয়া যা প্লিজ দ্যাট হি ইজ সেটলিং ইন স্কুল মাচ বেটার নাও at some point he refused to go to school now at least he's making a whole day, and according to them, that's an achievement. But he doesn't listen to them, he doesn't want to talk to them, he swear at them, he's rude to them all the time. And to break that is the challenge.
The course is good and there's lots of interesting things to learn and there's lots of things that can be used. It's a tool that I can use to try to improve my situation. It can't keep carrying on like this.
Lots and lots of parents who've come to the course, and after a couple of sessions eventually open up and explain that they feel completely lost in managing the outrageous behaviour of their teen children, and they don't know what to do. But once we develop a little bit of confidence in them to deal with it, and to know that what they are doing is the right thing, and for them to get the reinforcement from other parents and the facilitators at the course, they become much stronger and more committed themselves to working through the problems.
Hodo is a Somali mother with a teenage son. She recently completed the course at Oscar.
This is something that they feel needs continuing, really. Parents don't really know they can't access support. So if you get into trouble, come forward if it gets too difficult.
She enjoyed it because it's a way for her learning about the schooling system.
Hodo had been looking for a way to help her son, who was having discipline issues at a local secondary school in Stepney Green.
The child was happy at home, but unhappy at school. It's been labelled as the bad boy and he's always doing something wrong. I've spoken to him, say, what is the problem? She had a meeting with the head teacher. He apologised, recognised some of those were actually unfair to the child. He can go to the class and not dread in the morning saying, oh, I have got that class, I'm not going to go to that class. So he goes to his school and he's absolutely happy here.
The head teacher at Hodo's son's school, Paramjeet Bhutta, welcomes parents feeling more empowered to engage in their children's education.
The more they feel that they can demand more rights, be part of more what's going on, I think the more empowered they'll become to start taking decisions in terms of their child's learning.
Often parents from minority communities were not necessarily confident about the way they communicated with teachers and other education professionals, and so the programme very much helps them to look at that.
Before the struggling families, I would not go there and I wouldn't know how to even approach their school. So it was important for me knowing what are my rights as a parent and what is the school's rights.
Hopefully what we're developing is this little cell of parents, and their strengths, their skills can then be used and support other people who come into that group as well.
No local schools offer the course in Somali, and so Abdi must negotiate with Tom for a share of his limited resources to cater for Somali parents who want to take the course.
Lots of parents are giving a good feedback.
Yeah.
And
good.
now we've got more parents who are coming forward, want to take the training.
I suppose two things. One is about the sustainability. We only have funding until 2011,
right.
And then there's no predicting exactly what will happen. Schools do have staff, particularly employed, learning mentors, teaching assistants, whoever it is, to be able to run the course. You don't have that. Although you've got a very needy section of the community, that's partly why we've continued funding it. But in the long run, what are your prospects?
Coming up, Abdi finds out if he gets the funding he needs for his Somali parenting courses.
I have to go away and reduce the costs of the programme.
Tracy is making progress, but can she start making a long-term change?
Nothing's changed for me yet, but I've got to make that first step and just hope that I can follow it through.
And we look at some of the social issues making parenting in the borough particularly challenging.
I think the violence is a real issue.
On a daily basis, communities in Tower Hamlets are facing some acute social challenges.
There's an element out there that is constantly trying to engage the most disaffected child, to lead them astray down the wrong path towards criminality, towards drugs, and we're constantly fighting that battle. The postcode wars, as you're probably aware of, is a major issue.
The particular thing is it's the Asians and the Somalians, the Bengalis basically, and the Somalians. It's always fighting in it. Yeah, but we're both in a band, so we can't blame them.
Gang rivalries and knife crime still plague the borough's streets.
I think the violence is a real issue. And why is it that these things only develop where there's poverty?
As a young person, teenager, growing up in Tower Hamlets particularly, there's lots of challenges, of course. One of them is there's never enough facilities, especially in an area which is overcrowded and very poor housing. Of course, if you don't have nothing to do in the evening, you're very likely to get into drugs. So, yeah, these are some of the issues.
There are concerns parents express on the course, particularly around exposure to drugs, alcohol, the concern about community violence.
During the 13-week course, a range of topics are discussed in relation to issues affecting the community, parenting and personal development. Each group brings with them a range of concerns and hopes.
When I tell Ellie off, or I'd say to Ellie, no you can't, and hopefully I'm going to learn how to reason with her rather than just sort of like fly off the handle and say just go away from me. So I hope it's going to sort of like make me be a better mum.
When I'm angry, I respond by
shouting, throwing things.
No, we're talking about your children, not your old man.
When somebody's screaming and shouting at you and, you know, throwing things and doing all those things there, is there ways that we can change that?
I'll shout at the kids, I'll shout at Barry, but I don't normally roar in the street, but I put myself in that position that day and I wanted to hit him. I really wanted to hit that bloke. You was there, weren't you? I really...
Still having nightmares over it, but
do you know what I mean? He just went on and on and on. Yeah, I could have walked away, and I did walk away, and I got round the corner, and I went, no, I'm going back then. And I did, and I went back for more.
How could we have dealt with it? Because obviously it went to that blows and it never got sorted, did
I know I lost my rag, but then who's give him the right to talk to us like that anyway? Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't reason with us, would he? We tried that.
Well, once somebody's got angry,
we tried
there's so much emotion. The idea of reasoning with somebody at that point, it's almost like...
Well, then that's why I lost my rag, then I thought I might as well, if you can't beat them, join them. That's going to be one of the things that I am going to look at to change, because I do scream and shout a lot.
A key technique Tracy and the group have learnt on the course is what they call special time. In order to boost Ellie's confidence, Tracy decides to put this into practice by visiting a local farm on the Isle of Dogs.
It was just me and Ellie. It was nice just walking around a farm, because even though that farm's on my doorstep, I don't go over there apart from a shortcut to Asda.
You can smell. Joe. What are you supposed to touch? Look at his teeth.
We went to see the horses, which is like an achievement for me because I don't like horses. That's a big horse.
Is this? It's big. Oh my God, it's a massive one.
I think she felt happy. Yeah, she seemed like she enjoyed it. Didn't say much about it, but you could see on her face that she was happy.
I like horses because you can get all different colours and you can ride them. That was a bit scary to come near me. I want to do it again.
What?
This.
I don't like horses. I want to see the rabbits.
Rabbits and horses.
I like rabbits. It made me feel inspired to go and do other things with Ellie. It's like I've got to make that first step and just hope that I can follow it through. I've just got to make time. I've got to make time for them.
For Afia, the course is having less of an impact with her teenage son.
Special time I can't actually do with my son because he won't sit with me, he won't talk to me. In that sense, yes, there are limitations. A lot of the techniques in the course are much more suitable to younger children than maybe teenagers.
এটা খাবার করা লাগে কারণ রাজিয়া আফা মাছিলা একদিন মনে আসেনি আপনারা স্প্রিং এফেক্টর কথা এটা তো ক্লিয়ার এটা এখানে অটো সম্পর্ক দায় বাড়াইবার দেয় প্যারেন্ট চাইল্ড রিলেশনশিপ বাড়াইবার দেয়
He sort of said about my son's situation, it's a unique situation. He's always emphasised that there are no complete answers. Everybody is different. Every situation is different. I do pray, and this is, you know, one of the things that I've been doing a lot more.
I'm not saying that I'm not going to do anything and just pray. It's just I'm going to carry on and do the best. And at the same time, there's only so many things I can do, and then leave it with God and have faith in that.
With religion being a strong influence on people in Tower Hamlets, the team need to engage different faith groups, including the borough's multi-ethnic Muslim community.
We are at the moment in London Muslim Centre. It's a very important centre for Muslims in Tower Hamlets and Muslim in London. It offers a lot of services, it offers a lot of good, productive advice and facilities to Muslim community.
Very good,
Imam Abul Hussein Khan has worked with Humayun for 10 years, and he has just finished running the London Muslim Centre's first Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities course.
ধন্যবাদ জানাইলাম যে আপনারা 6 মাস বাদেও যে কোর্সের দে আপনারা মায়া আছে এটারে ইভ্যালুয়েশন করবার দে আপনারা আইসোন আপনারা যে কমিটমেন্ট আছে এর দে
Many fathers or mothers came from abroad. They came with their own ideas and own character and own culture as well. And they are facing problems with their children grown up in this culture, because in this society not everything good for everyone. Maybe there are some wrong things, drugs and gunfighting and so on and so forth. Many people, and especially youngsters, are involved. It is totally wrong. This course came, I can say it is a part of blessings of our Allah, God, to minimize this clash. What we are doing, we are mixing some Islamic idea through this course, because they are believing Islam as a complete code of life.
The areas where I think strengthening families, strengthening communities is very different and is unique is that it has an approach which acknowledges difference. Not saying this is the way that you're a good parent, but saying that everyone parents differently, and depending on your value base, you will make decisions about how to enhance your child's upbringing and how to create the best outcomes for your child.
আমার বাচ্চাদের আমি একটা ইন্ন শিকার বাদে একটা যে করছি যে আমাদের তোমাদের সপ্তাহে একটা রুটিন আছে যে যত ভালো কাম করতে পারে একটা পয়েন্ট যদি আমরা দেখাইতে পারে গিফট আমাদের বেশ সময় তোমারটা দামি বুঝেন বেশি ভালো নাম্বার দিবে তাহলে ভালো গিফট দেব তো এতে দিলাম তারা উৎসাহ আছে যে একটা গিফট পাইমু আর লক্ষ্য থাকে তাদের এই জন্য অর্থ কইয়া যদি এইসব জিনিস আমরা দরকার একান্ত প্রয়োজনীয় আমরা সময় থাকলে আমরা এইসব কোর্সও আবার দরকার আর
এক বাচ্চা একটু বেশি নোটে করে দেন যে তার লাগেও বিশেষ করে আমি একটু কনসার্ন করি আর ওয়ারি করি একটু ভায়োলেন্স তো মানে দুর্গা প্লে স্টেশন আছে তাতে কিছু একটু দেখবেন তাই দেখার পরে তখন এই যে ভায়োলেন্স এরকম করে তাইনও সাইনও বলা করতে প্রাইমারি স্কুলে যাওয়ার পরেও আইসে পয়লা বছর আইসে খুব বেশি এই কোর্স হওয়ার পরে আমি যতটুকু শিখছি আর কি কিছু মানে তার উপরে কোর্স মাফিক যেরকম নর্মালি কোনো কোনো সময় আমি টিচারও জিজ্ঞাসি যে আজকে থেকে তা করছে ভালো আসেনি তারাও অনেক সময় তার ওপিনিয়ন যে না তার বিহেভিয়ার অনেক চেঞ্জ হয়েছে
With 3 years of the 5-year government-funded trial project complete and limited funding for the final 2 years, Tom has a new strategy for the future of the programme.
In Tower Hamlets we've got about 90 primary and secondary schools altogether. Now obviously, much as we'd like to, we can't train staff in all of those schools to become facilitators. So one of the things we're definitely looking at is linking schools together. We've recognised that not everything can be achieved through schools, so we're very keen also to work in partnership with members of the voluntary third sector when we've identified that they can access families that maybe we can't access through schools.
For this reason, Tom has decided to fund Abdi for 2 more Somali courses.
He's very good at identifying families that need that additional support, and he's very good at recruiting families.
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Listen, thanks a lot. I got the email. That's brilliant. Yeah. No, that's great. Did you actually meet up with the committee in the end, or?
Yes, that's right. We have done. They have agreed actually
What?
to match on Sunday, 1,500.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's really encouraging. I mean, that's
Really pleased. There's one of the groups I really want to see up and running. And he's also managed not just to do the one group, but to get both groups going, so that's fantastic.
We just got confirmation that we have funding for running the 2 courses for Somali-speaking parents, and very, very pleased, and we're excited about it. London needs a service like this, and service that actually brings the communities together, builds families. It's actually tackling all sorts of the social issues we have in our community head on.
Tower Hamlets has done some amazing things with the Strengthening Family, Strengthening Communities programme. Beyond the immediate outcomes that parents are happier and children have enjoyed the fact that their parents have participated. Parents who were previously isolated now have a support network. They continue to meet, they are active in their local community, they do things, they become teaching assistants or they volunteer in their local schools. There's been a whole range of things that have happened as a result of the Strengthening Family, Strengthening Communities programme.
Over the last 3 years, 151 facilitators have been trained in Tower Hamlets. Nearly 2,000 parents have completed the course. Out of the 98 schools in the borough, nearly half are now qualified to run the programme. They remain the key to the long-term prospects of the Tower Hamlets Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities initiative, which is due to finish in 2011.
I think the role of schools in the success of the programme has been crucial. Schools are like the heart of contact with parents in the community, and schools are starting to realise that actually it's not something we rely on an outside service for, it's something that we want to deliver ourselves, it's part of our core service. I think if you look at a school, well, like Cubitt Town, it just shows that schools can share with parents aspects of their child's learning environment that maybe traditionally schools haven't shared in the past.
In a few months, Jackie and Annetta will be running a new course with a new set of parents at Cubitt Town Junior and Infant School.
It is exciting that, you know, at the end of the course we will become trained facilitators in our own right and help families along the way, and that we'll be doing it ourselves. So yeah, it is really exciting.
Meanwhile, some positive outcomes from Jackie's first parenting course are already being realised by her group's initially most sceptical parent.
I am proud of her, what she's achieved. It's quite amazing actually, week by week, how much her confidence has grown, and it's working, definitely.
We signed Ellie up for the girls' club. It's been brilliant. I didn't know that this club existed until Jackie had actually said. So if I wasn't on that course, I wouldn't have known anything about it, and then Ellie would have been stuck in here and then we would have just been going round in circles.
Welcome to Girls Group.
We've done flower arranging, Chinese whispers, and then we play ball, and then we went Asda, but I couldn't go because I forgot.
So we're back here tonight, and they are supposed to be singing, carol singing.
Okay, who comes with a high voice? Me! Who's got low voice? Come on then. All of you making noise like
Just watching her through that window there just now, she was joining in with all the other children. She wasn't sitting to one side.
I'm making new friends. At first it was scary when I went in, but then when I met all the friends, I got more better with them, and then I'm fine now in Girls Club.
She never sat down and watched telly or anything tonight. It was, what's the time, can we go now? So obviously that's a good thing, because she obviously wanted to come.
The change in Ellie's confidence has also been seen at the school.
Must have been a terrible existence last year when she was really down in the dumps, when she couldn't find things to do and anybody to even be friends with her. But since the mum has actually now gone to the parental classes, mum has got more confident, and you can see that has rubbed off onto Ellie, because now she's much more confident. The best example, she came up to me yesterday and told me that she'd actually finished all her English work with a big smile on her face. Now, there's no way she would have done that beforehand. She's very proud of mum.
She made something more for me to drink, 'cause it's cold out there, she thinks. That she walks me to school, yes, I ain't no fool, I just think my mum is amazing.
It's starting to change in me the way I go about doing things, the way I react to things. I probably will miss it. I'll miss them, miss that little meeting every Tuesday, but it won't be like the end of the friendships with the people that are on it. We're still gonna be friends. I just wish this course was a few years ago, because then I could have put loads of things into place by now, but you know, there you go, it's only just come up, it's something new, and I've really, really enjoyed it.
It's important as you grow older to keep learning and to be a good role model to your children. So by doing parents classes, children can see that their parents are learning alongside them and that we're all in it together.